Max Keiser frægur fréttaskýrandi, hann fjallar efnahagsmál aðallega, hann kemur mikið fram í sjónvarpi, hann gerði hér frétt Ísland fyrir nokkrum árum þar sem hann eiginlega spáði því að íslenska hagkerfið myndi hrynja. Við ætlum að tala við Max, við náum sambandi við hann í París og við ætlum að gera þetta viðtal í gegnum nútímatæknina Skype. Það hefur ekki verið gert áður í þessum þætti en þetta sýnir hvað ráðdeildarsemin mikil hér í sjónvarpinu og þetta kostar mjög litla peninga, ólíkt því til dæmis ef við erum með gervihnött sem kostar okkur mikla peninga og þessi stofnun hefur alltaf efna á núna eins og staðan Hello Max Keiser.
Hello, how's it going?
It's fine. I would like to ask you a few questions. I would like to start off with sort of the global situation. You are the presenter of the Keiser report on Russia today, as well as On the Edge on Press TV. So you follow matters very closely. Do you think that this global crisis of finance is over or will soon be over?
No. The reason being that the speculators are still in control. You have to understand that the global economy is roughly worth $60 trillion, but the global derivative markets are worth more to the tune of $700 trillion. So the speculators who are able to control the derivatives markets, and they control them and they manipulate them and they trade on inside information, they are still in control. They still have an agenda, which is to bankrupt most of the major economies in the world and to pocket as much money as they possibly can for themselves. And there's no political power in the world that is standing up to the financial terrorists, with the exception of Iceland. Iceland is the only country right now that is standing up to the financial terrorists like Alistair Darling and Gordon Brown and Goldman Sachs and Jamie Dimon over there at JP Morgan and Lloyd Blankfein. And so Iceland is really the ground zero for the global insurrection against this banking occupation.
This is what you have called a predatory banking system.
Well, yes, the banks it's beyond predator. They're terrorists. And they, for example, when Gordon Brown used anti-terror laws to seize Icelandic banking assets, he accurately recognized that we're talking about terrorism, but he failed to understand that Gordon Brown and Alistair Darling are the financial terrorists by breaking EU law and by harboring financial terrorists in their own country. You know, the Icelandic bankers who stole all that money live in London. The UK should extradite those bankers to Reykjavik so they can be tried and they can be prosecuted. So he's also aiding and abetting the City of London, which engages in fraudulent activities when it comes to trading derivatives and all kinds of accounting fraud and banking fraud, which results in misery and results in death and poverty. Just like any act of terrorism is an act that results in grave consequences of death and destruction. And Gordon Brown and Alistair Darling are the financial terrorists in this equation.
There is some talk of reform of the financial markets, that Obama is taking a position against Wall Street, and Gordon Brown will do that as well. Do you believe in that?
Barack Obama is in the pocket of Wall Street, the City of London, and the hedge funds. Look, when I was in the Hotel 101 in Reykjavik in the year 2006, I spoke with bankers from Lehman Brothers and Bear Stearns who told me they were plotting to destroy the Icelandic krona and the Icelandic banking system in an act of financial terrorism. They told me that directly to my face in the sushi bar of Hotel 101 in Reykjavik. This is why I made the film Money Geyser, which played on Al Jazeera English, which talked quite explicitly about why the Icelandic banking system was about to crash and the Icelandic krona was about to crash, because the terrorists who engineered the crisis told me to my face exactly what they were going to do, and this is exactly what happened. And so, again, I can't believe that Gordon Brown and Alistair Darling continue to harbor these people, these bankers from Iceland, and give them safe harbor. They should be immediately returned to Iceland and be tried for financial terrorism crimes. Furthermore, Gordon Brown, by referring to Iceland as a terrorist state, that was an incredible act of slander and libel. And of course, libel in the UK is taken very, very seriously. I think the Icelandic people should sue Gordon Brown for libel for $5 billion. And they should also sue him for harboring and aiding and abetting terrorists. And this is what the Icelandic people should do.
So you don't think that Iceland should pay this Icesave bill?
Absolutely not. You never negotiate with terrorists. You don't appease terrorists. You don't give the terrorists money. That's never a good idea. Iceland should not appease the terrorists. Unless if they want the same thing to happen again. If Iceland gives these guys the $5 billion, then you're opening the door to having the IMF, the World Bank, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, the whole gang of predatory bankers come into the country and set it up for another crash again in 2 years or 3 years. And you're going to end up like a Latin American country that's just used over and over again as a source of illegal funds and as a source of dumping toxic risks into the system, and you would completely lose your independence as an economic entity. It would be insanity to vote to allow that $5 billion in any way to be attacked or gained by the UK banking system. It would be insanity.